Good morning to you. It's Monday and here's a little video about a Twitter post that I put on. I received this. Now normally I would do some checking, and this particular Twitter post from Klaus Schwab, who is the World Economic Forum chairman and exponent of the New World Order, basically, I posted it without doing any further checking, because I presumed that it looked like an official screen copy of the tweet. I didn't think much of it until I saw there was a comment, and I obviously thought, oh, maybe I made a mistake. Maybe I should have checked it. However, the comment was, that's a spoof Twitter account. The picture isn't even the UK. There are no mandatory isolation camps. Wear a mask. Do the right thing and take your fake news elsewhere. Brilliant. I like that. Quite clearly a denier, quite clearly a follower of MSM, mainstream media, BBC, and believer of the Tory party that lies. And of course, remember, we're in this lockdown number 2, what they've called 2.0, which is stupid. Basically because of lies. They've lied about the data and they've still done it. My argument is that they should have repealed it when they've discovered that they'd lied, but they haven't, and they have zero intention of releasing it, and it will be here right the way through according to the plan, which you'll remember is something, a video that I made a little while ago. Now, so I thought, okay, what if it is a fake? Let's go and have a look, shall we? So this is Twitter, Klaus Schwab, and you've got the title World Economic Forum, 50 years. Obviously that's probably a copyrighted logo. It's got a picture of the man himself, which is, you can get photos of people off of Google, not a problem. You can make up this stuff. You can put all this stuff in, all of these hashtags. Oh, nothing be happy, the WE forum, which if you click on that goes to the website. It's actually interesting that this account was made in October. We're now in November, end of November, so not long ago. Mind you, that doesn't mean anything. Taking a look down, you can see that it does look like it could be a real account. And certainly, if you Google for Klaus Schwab, the Twitter name, the @ symbol, that comes up on Google. Now, obviously, if they want #1 position in Google, if you look for it, you'd have to pay for that. So it has to be a really, really good job if this is a fake account. They've obviously gone to a lot of effort and a lot of expense. They've made 118 tweets in a month, basically. I want to show you some of the tweets that have been made, because they are very, very interesting. Very, very interesting, in fact. And you can find these tweets. They are real. They're on here, basically. You can see he has a book which is called The Great Reset, COVID-19. The Great Reset, which is on Amazon. You can go and buy that. It will tell you everything that they're going to be doing. Here's an interesting tweet about meat processing plants. Now, if you watch my other video, you'll know that I said this is on the way.
Transitioning of individuals into the Universal Basic Income Program, expected mid-quarter 2, 2021. Projected supply chain breakdowns in inventory storage, large economic instability, all expected late second quarter 2021. Deployment of military personnel into major metropolitan areas as well as all major roadways to establish travel checkpoints.
And that is called food supply chain disruption. So as meat processing plants close, food supply chain is disrupted. And obviously what they're saying there is hashtag new normal to Q, hashtag please wear a mask, hashtag social distance. So all of these are reminders of the narrative that they want you to believe and follow. So they are actually enforcing the, the bullshit. We are currently liaising with UK government ministers. We are advising them to implement legislation to arrest and prosecute those that celebrate Christmas, because they don't want you to have Christmas, basically. This post was in the Daily Mail, so quite clearly it's a real article. If you click on it, it goes through to the Daily Mail. They can't fake that. They can obviously put this in here and write their own stuff if they really wanted to. I suspect that it's real. Let's go down a bit further. You can see here, this is very interesting, with the prospect of next March being the retirement of the Queen. And guess who is taking over from the Queen? There he is, with Schwab, the WEF. He's got fingers in pies, basically. So, just keep your eye on that. Another one, another conspiracy theory around the Gates bloke with his fingers in the vaccine pie, spending billions on that. I look forward to working with the new administration, says Bill Gates. Yeah, I bet he does. Because, there's issues around the new alleged president, but we're not going to discuss that here. What I want to move on to is this tweet, which is what brought the comment. The people of Liverpool have embraced mass testing. Mayor Anderson is preparing to announce mandatory COVID isolation camps, right? And it shows a picture. It does not say that that is Liverpool. There's nowhere in that picture, anywhere, that says it's Liverpool. So when you read the comments on Twitter, it says, oh, this is not Liverpool, this is some foreign country, like Philippines or something like that. Yes, it is. It's foreign country. It has been done in New Zealand. They have COVID camps. New Zealand, Australia, and Philippines, and all around there. And also Canada. They're bringing them into Canada now. Don't forget, the UK is a bit behind in the scheme of things, right? And this is a very good excuse to bring this into Liverpool, because they are doing mass testing. Right, so looking at those comments on the Twitter, there are some people on there saying this account is fake. This picture is fake. Yes, it is fake. It's not Liverpool, clearly. And then there are a few people saying, oh, those beds are too close together. If they were in isolation, they should have, they should have respirators, blah, blah, blah. Don't forget who this is for. This is for asymptomatic people who refuse to get tested, i.e. they don't have it and they refuse to get tested. Why would there be any stuff like that? It's not a hospital. We have those Nightingale hospitals for that, which are pointless because they're empty. My last one, which I thought was really interesting. There's 2 points about this tweet. Number one, wearing a mask is essential. But the WHO said they changed their minds and they were put under pressure to change their minds. But for 40 years, they said that masks would not work. So suddenly they say they are working. Well, I'm sorry, but I tend to believe 40 years rather than 10 minutes of change of mind under pressure. Don't forget who's funding the WHO, all right? Go and look it up if you don't know. But unimpaired breathing of clean air is not necessarily a human right. Why? When we are facing an unprecedented pandemic. I'm sorry? Unimpaired breathing of clean air is not necessarily a human right. You are joking. No, it's there in writing. Whether it's a real tweet or not, it doesn't make any difference. Now, the last comment there, which is a vaccine is our best hope for ending this pandemic. Until then, wear a mask, right? A vaccine is our best hope. No, it's not. It's got all to do with it. 99.8% of people recover with no problem. Why would you need a vaccine that isn't going to work and has not been tested? If you are one of these people lining up thinking, oh my God, I'm going to get this because it will return back to normal, you are living in cloud cuckoo land. Get with it. Stop being a sheep and following what you're told. Even now, you're in lockdown 2.0 because of lies. And it's been proven lies. I don't need to stress this anymore. You're being lied to.
We've seen that the Swedish model works. We've seen that actually that is a way to deal with it. When are we going to get out of this, Ivor? Because I'm going to be honest with you, I was looking at the situation and to myself, I think there's three options. We either adopt the Swedish model, number one. Number two, we have a vaccine. And from what, I'm not an epidemiologist, I'm not a virologist, the last truly great pandemic was the HIV/AIDS virus. They isolated the HIV virus, I think it was in 83 or 84. They've never managed to find a vaccine to combat that. They've never had a vaccine against a coronavirus. So there's a vaccine option, which is looking tenuous at best. Or number three, we just carry on with this till what? Till the economy doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, that's why I've been despairing for months. Particularly since the mandated masks, which made zero scientific sense, regardless of their efficacy, as I said. I'll have to say that again, because that was a dark day for me, because I realized then they've gone nuts. And it's just getting worse now. It's almost like they held on to the winter to just get back some mortality and ICU action so they could do this again. It's just like bizarre. But yeah, there's no exit strategy, because the vaccine, you know, there's loads of really great vaccines. And then the influenza vaccine, you know, it's 20-30% effectiveness. And there's some studies that show it doesn't really leave a mark on elderly mortality anyway. So coronavirus vaccine, they've never been able to do one for 30 years. Now they may do it. It's probably easier than AIDS or HIV, because HIV is a shifter virus that interacts with the immune system and changes its profile. Whereas, to be honest, this coronavirus is more a kind of a classic coronavirus, just a high impact one. But the problem is, if they get a vaccine and it's like the flu vaccine, which would be an amazingly good result, because it takes 6 years to safely develop a vaccine, and they've like had 8 or 9 months. But if they achieved the safety and efficacy of a flu vaccine, let's say it's 30% effective, it's not going to move any needle. And there's publications coming out now, even from some of the vaccine companies, that it probably won't affect transmissibility and transmission. It'll just minimize the actual impacts in the elderly or whoever. So again, it's just not going to move the needle a huge amount. And it could be out next summer. So your question is very valid. Like, what are we doing now? It's not like waiting for a magic vaccine, because in industry, if you did project management and tried to say to the management team, oh, we're doing this to get to that, you'd be eviscerated. They'd say, look, that's great if you get that later, but that's not going to make a huge difference. So what do we do now? And what we do now is the Swedish model. I mean, there's just There's no question about it. Unless the ICUs and hospitalizations and mortality actually start going up to genuine epidemic levels, in which case you might need to do emergency measures. Short of that, it just makes no sense. And like, there's no way out.
Well,
But we
the
do this
phrase
every
"it
winter
makes
now?
no sense" is a phrase that the two of us have been uttering for months now, because it doesn't make any sense. And the worry for us as well is if we're prepared to do things now that, as you talk about masks, for example, they don't have any scientific basis until very recently and not very strong evidence on that. So how do we know that it's time to end this? Because you could argue, for example, look, we've got everyone wearing masks, right? Everyone is social distance. Everyone is using hand sanitizer. Everyone's keeping to their bubbles. Well, that's a great way to stop people dying of other diseases, isn't it? So why don't we just carry on like this for the rest of our lives? Because you don't want Granny to die of the flu. You don't want Granny to die of this or that. Or what if there's another thing? Why don't we just preventatively continue wearing masks, continue social distancing, continue not shaking hands, continue with all of this, right? And every now and again, why don't we just have a preventative lockdown once a year just to make sure? Like, where does this end?
Yeah, there is no end. There is no logic, as we've discussed. It just makes no sense. We're back to that phrase again. It makes no sense. So we've changed our whole history of humankind, our culture, our traditions, our freedoms. We've completely turned on its head everything we wear to become a people terrified of viruses that were always there and always causing trouble every winter. We've done all that in this past 6 months. And now where we are makes no sense. I'm not often speechless, but I've been pinching myself every day for 6 months or more now. Every day for a moment it flashes through my head, this is not real. And then I realize it is real. That's how disbelieving I am as a 30-year technical master and problem-solving master in many different fields. I cannot believe it anymore. I don't know where it's going. It's just Sweden is the only possible model. And that was clear in March. It was clear in March. And it's since been borne out by the data.
I think I have made a mistake. I didn't check it out. And it's obviously, but knowing the plan, I doubt very much whether I haven't made a mistake. Now, you can argue till your cows come home that it's a fake account. Klaus Schwab. It's got his logo, his photo, and his name. I think if it was a false account, if it was a fake account, I think that he would be onto Twitter claiming that needs to be taken down very quickly, and it's been up there for over a month, basically since October. I think that he would know about it if it was there and it was fake. And I think that he would have reported it by now, because certainly I would have reported one if I had a fake. I get lots of fakes on YouTube and other social media, and they are reported immediately and removed. So there we go. If you don't agree with me, you're free to disagree and line up for your vaccine, which is coming, because very soon, as soon as these isolation camps, bearing in mind they haven't said that they are here yet, right? Which is what people can't be bothered to read. They just assume, and you'll be the first to line up for that in the hope that you're going to get back to normal. Anyway, have a good day. Bye for now.